We got involved because, and bless her, Dawn Steinberg, who's the head of casting at Sony, called to see if we'd be available to meet on a new show. And we said, yeah, sure. Now, remember, Vince Gilligan was only on The X-Files. She said it's for AMC, and I said, American Movie Classics? She said, yes, they're going into television. At the time, they had shot Mad Men, but it hadn't aired. So I was like, okay, read the script, and it was the second best script I'd ever read in my life, the best for a television. And I was blown away. And we went in to meet. We really did our homework. And Vince is just an incredible guy to meet. And it was, the stars lined up because what we said to him, you know, when you meet on a job, they want to hear your ideas. You're going to think we're crazy, but what about Bryan Cranston? And he, in his adorable Southern accent, oh my God, that's who I want. He was amazing on the X-Files. And we said, well, we're in the process of still casting for La Jolla Playhouse, and he just came in to read for a new Aaron Sorkin play that Des McAnuff is directing, and he was brilliant. Like, blew us away, the dad from Malcolm in the Middle, with Aaron Sorkin's language and the complexity of the role. We just think he's amazing. Mm-hmm. So that was great. And then we talked, and then we didn't get the job. And I was heartbroken. And I remember when Dawn called me, she said, look, you know, it was a really hard decision, and the other casting director is one of the greats. Big, great film casting director. I said, I get it. And I said, if it doesn't work out in the deal making, we're closed. And she said, what? I said, if you can't make a deal, we're closed. And she goes, but you don't know what the budget is. We're closed. She said, really? I said, we're closed. Called 4 days later, worst deal I have ever made, ever. And the best decision Sherry and I ever made. It was amazing creatively. The pilot was so much fun to be in the room with Vince. You know, then we did read people for Bryan's role because you have to, or we had some, lists of people, but it was really Bryan that he wanted and we wanted. And Bryan got another offer for another sitcom at Fox. So Bryan did come in for a meeting. I think the meeting was just me, him, and Vince. And I can't remember if Melissa Bernstein, our producer, was in that room. He's so smart. He did such a brilliant meeting because we talked about the script, but he pulled out a couple of passages from it and said, because I think he would be, and then he did Walter White. So he didn't audition, but he was smart enough to prove that. And that was it for Vince and for me. And then we called and, well, we don't know. And then when he had the other offer, we called Dawn and we said, this is who we want. And to the credit of Jamie and Zach, who, ran Sony, they went with it. And that's a big roll of the dice for them to take the dad from Malcolm in the Middle in a drama with Vince Gilligan, who'd never directed a television pilot before. But I think it shows that when you trust the creative vision of the people you hired, you will get something fantastic.